Not less than 100 persons, mostly civilians, have been confirmed dead less than 48 hours since, on Friday early morning night, Israel and Iran began new massive waves of offensive military campaigns that have forced commercial airplanes to avoid the troubled Middle East airspace as the two countries fly missiles of mass destruction in the air corridors, with local media confirming Iran ballistic missile killed 10 persons and injured more than 20 others at a single building struck at Bat Yam city in Israel as the angry Iranian soldiers launched a massive all-night continuous air bombardments campaign against the state of Israel that earlier on Friday began the new offensive military campaign when it flew fighter jets to strike Iranian military homes, nuclear weapon facilities, killing Iran nuclear weapon scientists, military leaders including Iranian Chief of Staff and Commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps, IRGC, alongside almost 60 civilian death casualties. This, President Donald Trump of the United States, U.S. in a statement issued on Friday shortly after Israeli attack via his personal verified social media handle on his own Truth social media platform, praised and boasted about the military strength and capability of Israel, saying, "Things will only get worse for Iran because he gave them a chance to make a deal but they ignored the chance," adding with some level of mockery that the Iranian hardliners who spoke bravely are now dead as a result of the Israel attack on Iran, saying with emphasis that the U.S. produces the best lethal military equipment anywhere in the world, and Israel already has a lot of the U.S. military leather equipments, adding that Israel knows how to use the weapons and more will be giving to them. And in another statement issued also through the Truth social media platform on Saturday shortly after the unprecedented military parades to mark the 250th anniversary of the founding of the United States Army, President Donald Trump threatened to unleash the full strength and might of the U.S. armed forces to attack Iran at a level never seen before if Iran dare attack U.S. in any way, shape or form, claiming that the U.S. had nothing to do with the Israeli attack on Iran. Reacting earlier, Iran's supreme leader, Imam Saeed Ali Khamenei, said Iran will retaliate Israeli attack with a strong response of no mercy, just as Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian said Israeli attack on Tehran on Friday killed military commanders, nuclear scientists, women and children, while wishing President Donald Trump and U.S. armed forces happy birthday on Saturday. Israel Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu alleged that Iran made an attempt to assassinate President Donald Trump twice, adding that Israel attacked the military and nuclear facilities in Tehran on Friday because Iran was building intercontinental nuclear weapons that could be used to destroy Israel and any other country in the world. Shortly after the Israeli attack on Friday, Iran launched retaliatory airstrikes at Israel, with massive explosions in Jerusalem and Tel Aviv, the country's two biggest cities, with residents running into bomb shelters and local media publishing videos and photographs of some parts of Israeli cities completely burned down by Iranian missiles. Day after Russia government led by President Vladimir Putin released over 1,212 bodies said to be dead Ukrainian soldiers, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy, in a written and video press release on Thursday, said that Ukraine has recorded over 1 million casualties of Russia soldiers, both dead and wounded inclusive. There were reports that Ukraine initially refused to receive the bodies of the fallen heroes, which thus left the drivers and the refrigerator trucks with the frozen bodies of the said Ukrainian soldiers to be stranded at the exchange site, spending about 4 days waiting for the Ukrainian representatives to receive the body bags. RT News Media reported that Ukraine finally accepts the fallen soldiers' bodies from Russia, quoting Russia's top peace negotiator, Vladimir Medinsky, as saying that Kiev has received 1,212 bodies so far. Russia receives 27 of its dead soldiers in return. According to Zelensky, today, in year 4 of Russia's full-scale war, our military has recorded over 1 million Russian casualties, killed and wounded. That's the price Putin is willing to pay for his sick geopolitical fantasies. And still, he refuses to end this war. 12 days ago, Ukraine's security service completed, spiderweb, a low-cost drone operation targeting the very aircraft Russia used to terrorize our country and to send a message of threat to NATO. These were not just similar strategic bombers, but the exact same ones Russia had used to simulate missile strikes on NATO territory. 10 years ago, such a strike would have been unimaginable. Today, we can't even imagine what kind of strikes a country might be able to carry out 10 years from now. But one principle is clear: no country can afford to stay behind in defense tech. Russia doesn't really care about the lives of a million of its own people. But they do care about harsh sanctions, especially on oil and finance, as well as about political isolation, when Moscow is not invited to international forums. If Russian oil sells for no more than $30 a barrel, suddenly Moscow will start sounding peaceful. We must confront those who treat human life as worthless just as we defend our own safety. This fight isn't limited to Europe, it matters in every region nearby. When life means nothing to those in charge, then no crime is off the table, not even full-scale aggression. We thank Czechia for its initiative on ammunition supplies. It clearly showed that united efforts can really make a difference in modern warfare. We must strengthen all forms of defense cooperation, especially those that help us become more technologically advanced and use drones of every kind, in the air, on land, and at sea. Ukraine is ready to increase drone production by 40% already this year. Our factories have the capacity. What we lack is financing. I urge your countries to treat drone production with the same urgency and attention that we do. We must all be faster in drones than our enemies. We should be realistic about those who brought war to Europe. You can't talk Russia into peace. But there are forms of pressure that hurt those in charge. I ask you to support a serious increase in sanctions. Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, the only survivor in the Air India Boeing Flight 171 that crashed into hostel on Thursday afternoon at Ahmedabad, says he quickly removes his seatbelt and runs out of the plane after the aircraft crash landed less than 59 seconds after takeoff on the ground floor of the medical students' hostel with a lock on his side, that the door of the plane got broken and opened immediately after the plane crash landed, and no wall of the building was blocking his way, unlike many others who could have escaped, but they were prevented or blocked by the wall of the hostel building that denied them the opportunity to be able to run out of the plane. And Air India in a press statement said the Boeing 171 is 12 years old, and the managing director and chief executive officer of Air India, Campbell Wilson, in a video press release said that only one person out of the 242 passengers and crew members on board the plane survived. This, the president and chief executive officer of Boeing, the U.S. plane, missiles and rockets manufacturer, said he has spoken with Air India, Tata Sons and Tata Group chairman, Natarajan Chandrasekaran, to offer full support, saying, "A Boeing team stands ready to support the investigation led by India's Aircraft Accident Investigation Bureau." While India Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi today paid an on-the-spot assessment visit to the crash site and the hospital where people on ground that sustained injuries, and the British national, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, who is the only survivor among the people on board the plane, are being treated, and the Prime Minister after the visit issued a statement to condole with the families and relatives of the dead victims, including the family and relatives of former Gujarat Chief Minister, Shri Vijay Rupani, a highly notable personality of apparent center of interest that also died in the plane crash. CCTV footage made available online by local media indicated that the plane crash landed very close to the airport in less than 59 seconds after takeoff, and the plane was still within the view of the airport CCTV camera. The only survivor, Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, said the plane crash landed within 33 seconds after takeoff, with the plane lights turning green and white. He said he thought he was dead like every other person on board the plane because he saw before his eyes the air hostesses caught in fire. The lone survivor spoke in his native language while speaking on the sickbed and answering questions from a news reporter based in Ahmedabad, and his statement is presented as translated by Sky News. The crashed Air India plane was traveling from India to London after the flight AI-171 departed Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel International Airport at 13:39 local time, 8:09 Greenwich Mean Time, and was due to touchdown at London's Gatwick Airport at 18:25 British Summer Time. According to BBC, the only survivor told local media from his hospital bed that, 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise. It all happened so quickly. His cousin, AJ Valgi, said Mr. Ramesh called his family to say he was fine, but he does not know the whereabouts of his brother, also called AJ, who was on the plane with him. The Boeing 787
bringing you the news in a more digital way.